もうそろそろね、犯人追い詰めることができるんじゃないかなと。夫人を訪ねるね、夫人を。あ、いたいたいたいた。
How do you do? You must be Mr. Hercule Poirot. Chief Inspector Jupp told me that you might be coming.
Madame, you may be of valuable help to me.
It would be my pleasure to help you. Will there be some journalists there as well?
I think you might even be interviewed. You are a key witness.
I've suspected him for some time, but he appeared so harmless. Oh yes, sometimes he got angry and waved his arms about. But even then, he wasn't frightening. And he was as gentle as a lamb again immediately afterwards. It was only this morning that I understood. He told me he was going to Cheltenham, but my daughter saw him at Euston Station. It's not the right station. To get to Cheltenham, you have to take the train from Paddington. And what's more, Mr. Cuss left behind an ABC with Doncaster underlined. As you can imagine, when I saw that, I called Scotland Yard.
どうやって、観察力。
One moment, please. How did you know that Cust had underlined Doncaster in his railway guide?
I went and had a look in his room.
I see. Roger's belongings?
Well, what are you going to do later? I bet you're going to poke around his room too?
Tell me, did you have any other reason to suspect Mr. Cust?
He's rather queer. He talks to himself. He has a bad cough. Because of the war, he says. And then he was in Churston when that millionaire got murdered. I found his train ticket when I washed his coat. He didn't want me to wash his shirt. He washed it himself. But I did see big brown stains on it.
シミがどこにあったか尋ねる。
Where were the stains on the shirt?
Can't recall.
Cut used to travel for his work. Is that correct?
Yes, although he was unwell on trains.
Do you know where Cust was at the time of the murder in Andover and Bexhill? On June the 21st and July the 25th?
No idea.
But surely you keep a register.
It won't do you much good. Mr. Cuss rents his room for the year. If he goes away for a few days, I have no reason to make a note of it. Ah, I remember one thing. Bexhill by the sea, right?
Indeed, it is a large seaside resort.
Well, as it happens, at the start of July, Mr. Cust asked me to repair his bathing dress. Suspicious, huh?
Very interesting. Please continue.
I also forgot to say that he started buying newspapers that talked about the case.
いつ新聞について詳細を尋ねる。いつ新聞があるんだか尋ねる。新聞について詳細。いつ
When did he start buying the newspapers?
Let's see. I think it was just after the millionaire's murder in Churston. He didn't seem all that interested before that.
That will be all for now. I'm going to take a look at his room.
Take the key on the counter.
追加されました。カウンター？あ、これか。
I should check the register. Mrs. Marbury may have been hiding something from me.
I don't think my register will help you. Mr. Cuss rents his room all year. If he goes...
The truth is becoming apparent, and I have something to say to Mrs. Marbury. I have something to say to Mrs. Marbury.
あ、あるのね。はいはい。
Mrs. Marbury, if I am to believe the register, you rented room 306 to a certain Mr. Fishman on the day of the Bexhill murder? Room 306 is Cust's room. Can you explain yourself?
If I did, it was because Mr. Cust wasn't here. What about it?
It doesn't matter, provided that you remember to change the sheets.
Of course I changed them. I keep a nice clean establishment, I'll have you know.
これいいのかな？ん？ OK。くるっと。
Laudanum Cameron's Chemists. Laudanum, a medicine for coughs. It is what Dr. Clark prescribed for Mrs. Asher. This subject would probably be useful to me.
アヘンチンキ。もう一個、もう一個。違う違う違う。これだ。
Diethyl barbituric acid, Johnson Company. I know this medicine. It is a powerful sedative. This subject would probably be useful to me.
あ、失礼。
How hopeful. This place is a real mess.
めちゃくちゃじゃないですか？あ、あったあったあった。タイプライターがある。どっちだ？こっちか。あ、離れた。3つ？
The least we can say is that Mr. Cust is not very concerned about order and balance.
あとは、あったあった。
ABC guys, enough to sign about a dozen murders. It's closed. ABC guys, enough to sign about a dozen murders. ABC guys, enough to sign about a dozen murders.
あれ？違う？
It's closed.
もっと、もう一個どこだ？
ABC guys, enough to sign about a dozen murders. It's closed.
閉まってますね。ん？この2つしかないはずなんだが、開けれないのかな、これ。なんと。これかな。
ABC guys,
違うね。
enough to sign about a...
まあいいか。
trousers, white shirts. Everything has been washed very well.
で、
Most probably the basting dress repaired by Mrs. Marbury's expert hands. The Bexhill Daily Paper, dated from the day of the Bexhill murder. All the main articles referring to the ABC case are here, from the Churston murder onwards. Nothing before that date.
それからロックもある。
Did Cust drop it when he opened the window? Or was it Mrs. Marbury while she was cleaning? John Milligan, Managing Director, Silky Legs, Frederick Street, Leicester. To A.B. Cust, Marbury's Guest House, 1935, May the 21st. Dear Sir, further to our letters dated 5th and 10th of the month, we confirm we are you as door-to-door salesman, according to the conditions stated in our previous letters. We will send you the articles by mail and also a red fee. Regarding the schedule of your rounds, please do as following. June 21, Andover. Arrive by train the 20th in the evening and get home at Station Hotel. Start your turn in the north part of the town. This letter...
それと、これか。
I have to get the ribbon. How am I going to do it?
ああ、これは、なるほど。回してみる。インクリボン。あ、これつまんで動かす。
Something is blocking the ribbon.
何かが邪魔してる。ぐるっと回してみようかな。
The ribbon is jammed. I have to start by freeing it.
まずは外さないと。どこだろうな。巻き取んのかな。
The right-hand heel has been removed.
オッケー。で、こっちもか。こう。
The left-hand heel has been removed. And here is the ribbon. Let us see if it was indeed used to write the letters sent by ABC. I only need the ink ribbon for my inquiry. I will let Jack clean the keyboard if he wishes.
お、取った。またこれはいいのかな。使う？何を？
This key bears the number.
まだいいんじゃないかな。あ、まだある。まだある。なんだ？何が残ってる？
I know this medicine. Laudanum, a medicine for coughs.
これはいいか。なんだどっか。これじゃないよね。なんだろう。なんか忘れてる。なんだなんかここに来るよね。
And here is the ribbon. Let us see if it was indeed used to write the letters sent by ABC. I only need the ink ribbon for my inquiry.
だって見たよね、これ。なんで毎回な、それ。
And here is the ribbon. Let us see if it was indeed used to write the letters sent by ABC. I only need the ink ribbon for my inquiry. I will let Jack clean the keyboard if he wishes.
なんだ何が残ってる
？And here is the ribbon. Let us see. I only need the ink ribbon for my inquiry.
はいはい。
And here is the ribbon. Let us see if it was indeed used.
何回
I only need the ink ribbon for.
戻って。違うよね。だから何回やんだよ。
And here is the ribbon. I only need the. 調査で必要なのはカスとインクリボンのみです。オッケー。その後はなんか抜けてる。触るとこないんですけど。もう分かったって。And here is the ribbon. I only need the.
はいはい。はいはい。まだ何が残ってんだろう。まあいいや。とりあえず戻ろ
う。Cast is parsimonious. He keeps his pencils and sharpens them until there is nothing left. It is clear that he did not grow up in luxury. It's an ABC. A long-bladed knife. A murderer's weapon. This subject would probably be useful to me.
あとなんだろうな。 やっぱこれ
I have to get the ribbon. How am I going to do it? The left-hand heel.
インクリボン持ってんのにね。
The right-hand heel has been removed. And here is the ribbon. Let us see. I only need the ink ribbon.
これまで OK やろ。観察。あと何がある？何も反応が。ここ見ても何もないんだけどな。
And here is the ribbon. Let us see. I only need the ink
わか
ribbon.
ったわかった。なんだ？
And here is the ribbon. I only need the...
本当何も反応するとかないんですけど。ぐるっと。なんか触っても何にもないのよね。何が残ってんだろ
おはようございます絵文字。インクリボン取った後、あんまり動かさないようにすると良かったと思います。
動かさないようにする？
And here is the ribbon. Let us see if it was indeed. I only need the ink ribbon for my inquiry. I will let Jack clean the keyboard.
戻る？何を動かさない？何も始まらない。
And here is the ribbon. Let us see. I only need the ink ribbon for my inquiry. I will let Jack clean. All the letters announcing the murders were written on Cust's typewriter.
これで全部なのかな？
インクリボンラップの時、文字を見る感じでストップしてみてください。
うん。
This dark stain. It could be blood, but goodness knows how long it has been there.
これで全部かな？
ABC guys. Enough to sign about a dozen.
ここ1個空いてる。あ、ラベルだ。あ、でもない。
ABC guys. Enough to sign a...
もうこれ以上反応がない。
It's closed.
閉まってるね。
It's closed.
閉まってるだけで何もない。ハテナが反応するわけでもない。剥がせるわけでもない。
It's closed.
あ、なるほど。これか。
This knife is very useful. Stockings. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
どこにいたのか。
The register shows that Cust did not sleep at the guest house on the day of the murder. Where was he? Bexhill. The Bexhill paper reveals it. Cust bought this newspaper in Bexhill on July the 25th. No use continuing the inspection of this room. I've seen all there is to see.
OK。見れたね。
Goodbye, Mrs. Marbury. Thank you for your help.
I look forward to seeing you again, Mr. Poirot.
Ah, Chief Inspector. I was about to leave.
Good evening, Chief Inspector. Welcome. Please excuse me, I must go to the kitchen. I'll leave the key of Mr. Cust on the counter.
I'm sorry I'm late. I've spent ages with the Doncaster police. And you?
I have established one fact. On 3 occasions, Cust was at the scene on the day of the crimes. I had best talk to Jap.
I've listened closely to what you have to say, Poirot. For me, there's no doubt Cust is guilty. Do you have any element that might prove the contrary?
That is what we're going to look for. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
有罪か。できたか。いた。あ、違う。犯人を殺すことができたか。できたか。持っている。いた。っていた。新聞持っていた。 鉄道案内がある。もしかできたかか。3人のこと書かれてるけどな。これと、これ？あ、違う。あ、来た。うん。カストと殺人犯に共する点は、案内がある。タイプライター、新聞？あ、違う。行き先がついてる。ナイフ、カストと殺人犯。タイプライター、あったあった。カストの思考は疑わしいか。嘘をついた。浴びていた。持っていた。
The evidence against Cust is overwhelming. His presence at the scenes, the knife, the blood-stained shirt, the ABCs in a box.
C'est vrai. However, the blood Mrs. Marbury saw on Cust's shirt may have been his own. According to his medical records, he suffers from hemoptysis. The murderer cut Sir Carmichael's throat from behind, and the blood spurted outwards. You would expect the murderer's shirt to be stained on the sleeves, not on the buttonholes. Yet we see quite the opposite. You would expect the murderer to keep the newspaper articles about his crimes. But Cust's collection starts in Cheston, as if it discovered the case rather late.
I agree it's troubling, but it doesn't change my mind. There's small details that we should be able to clear up by questioning Cust.
When can we talk to him?
Doncaster is sending him to us on the first train.
Are they questioning him already?
He says he can't remember a thing.
It's plausible. Doctors say he suffers from absences and amnesia. Mrs. Marbury has confirmed this.
He may have done the murders in an altered state.
A familiar situation.
It's not enough to clear his name. Dr. Thompson insisted that even if you don't know what you're doing, you never commit a murder without wanting to.
Très intéressant. I shall remember that.
Right. I'll go and examine the suspect's room.
Chief Inspector, I took the liberty of removing a few clues to examinatum.
All right, we'll discuss them tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to see if you've missed something.
Just go. This man is not in good shape. He is worried and very tired, and other police have been hard on him.
What do you want from me?
自己紹介。
Good day, Mr. Cust. I am Hercule Poirot.
Ah, you're the detective.
Yes, I am the person you have been sending the letters to.
I didn't write these letters. I've already said so.
忘れただけだと認めさせる。
Maybe you forgot that you wrote these letters.
Yes, it's true. Sometimes I forget. Maybe I did type them.
殺人へと責める。これして得意が尋ねる。
Are you capable of murder, Mr. Cust?
All these questions are giving me a headache.
語
You
らせる。
suffered during the war.
It's true. I was wounded. I suffered. But the army was the only place I didn't feel inferior. No questions. Just orders to follow.
But ever since you were wounded, you have absences, bouts of amnesia.
And headaches.
Professor Clark treated you.
Yes, a few years ago he really helped me with my burned throat.
And to thank him, you murdered him?
Stop talking about these murders.
Poor man. If only I could help him. He is in no state to reply. He is in no state to reply. Poor man. If only I could help him. I am not going to leave before having finished questioning him. Poor man. If only I... He is in no state to reply.
できないようです。あ、これか。敵止め。
Take this. It will help you.
Oh, good God, my shirt is covered in blood again.
Bon. I now know where the bloodstains Mrs. Marbury saw came from. Are you well enough to speak?
Yes, I feel much better.
Of course, you never considered killing a doctor who took such good care of you.
No, never.
認める。目撃されていることを伝える。
You were seen at all the crime scenes.
Yes, I was. I travel a lot, but not for pleasure. I am terribly unwell in trains. But I had to respect my engagements. My employer gave me very precise written instructions about the towns I had to visit.
let's see. The company you claim to work for, Silky Legs, has never heard of you. And as for these letters they sent you, they were written on your own typewriter.
The company sent me the typewriter when I started working for them.
Yes, but the letters were received afterwards.
あなた自身に手紙を送る前に自分で制作した。
It proves that you wrote them.
I may have. Good God! I don't know what's happening to me. My head hurts terribly.
Oh.
He is in no state to reply. He is prey to a terrible anxiety. Is it remorse? Or simply the pressure of the questioning and the stranger? I am not going to leave before having finished questioning him.
まだあるのか。じゃあ。これかな?
Take this. It will help you.
Oh, I think I'll be fine.
Let us see, Cust. Look at me. You know very well that you committed these murders?
Yes, I know.
But I'm not wrong in saying that you do not know why you committed them.
No, I don't.
Hmm. もういいのかな? じゃあ
And what conclusions have you drawn?
Plenty. It might help us to understand him a little better. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
健康状態でわかることは、咳と、ウキウキ。カスは犯行になり示す手がかりはあるか。これか。衣服は見分けなくそれにシャツが入った。あ、間違えた。書いてないと主張している。どこにもない。誰になる？ 疑いもなく言うだけ言えるか。無罪。
I don't see any clearer than before. This is worse.
There is one point to highlight. C'est curieux. Cust admits that he killed, but he does not know why. What did Dr. Thompson say? Even if Cust killed while in an altered state, it still must have been his deepest desire. He must have had a motive.
Let's keep it simple. Never mind his motive. He confessed.
But you see, he can confess to anything and everything. He denied the murders and then confessed to them. He confirmed that he never typed the letters. Then, with great ease, I managed to get him say quite the opposite.
Come on, he behaved like a guilty man. He lied to his landlady.
Because deep down he believes himself guilty. From the papers, he noticed that he had always been at the scene of the crimes. He must think that he killed and then simply forgot what he had done.
How can you be so sure?
Let us look at his psychological profile. You will understand my point of view. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
不適か。なんだ？知的か。あんた。彼は血を浴びていた。自信家か？影響を受けやすい。女たらしか。これか。ファッション医者好きか。苦手。衝動的か。こっちかな？ OK。寛大か。こっちかな？
You see? Cust's character is quite the opposite of the murderer's.
But if he's a madman, can we really talk about his character?
You know very well that our murderer does not behave like a psychopath. Apart from the signature, there is no ritual repetition in the choice of victims.
Very well, you're right as always. So, we have no confession, no culprit, no suspects, nothing. And all that after 2 months of inquiry? What should I do?
Have faith. Just give me 24 hours.
1日。帰宅する。あ、車でいいのかな。
To White Haven, please.
Cust's arrest is a great success for you, Poirot. It's all clear now, except maybe one or two details.
Details. Ah, mon ami. The devil is in the detail, as we say.
Excuse me?
Patience, Hastings. Everything will be clear once our guests arrive. Best be prepared. Slip a revolver into your pocket before they do.
A revolver? But Poirot, what are you afraid of?
Trust me. It is important you carry a weapon for this meeting. I will lend you mine.
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play your role. Wait one moment, I will bring you my weapon.
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play your role. Churston, Devon, population 500 inhabitants. Hourly of trains. London, Churston. Hastings' photo album. He is very proud of his bag.
Revolver を渡す？どこにある？リボルバーね。あった。
The white ammunition are blank cartridges. The others are real bullets. I have to choose the type of bullets to load.
どちら？
The revolver is loaded with real bullets. I still have time to choose blanks. The revolver is loaded with blanks. I still have time to choose real bullets.
これどっちがいいの？あ、いいか。こっちだね。
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play your role. Wait one moment, I will bring... Voila, I entrust you with my weapon. It has hardly been used, it is almost new.
お、また。電話かな？電話だね。
Inspector, is that you?
Yes. Sorry, but we haven't found anything.
Have you checked the typewriter?
And the packaging, the letter, and the ribbon reel. We've only found prints left by Cust and his landlady.
Well, never mind, I shall make do.
So, are you still going to hold your meeting?
Of course, Chief Inspector. I can hear my guest coming up the stairs.
Why have you brought us here, Mr. Poirot?
Since Cust's arrest, I thought it was all done and dusted. Miss Gray formally identified him, as well as Miss Barnard.
Yes, and the stockings he saw drove the same brand as the ones found at my aunt's.
This is all true. However, a case is not closed if some questions remain open. And one question is, why did the murderer send me his letters? Why did he challenge me, Hercule Poirot?
Perhaps he wanted to play with you, to taunt you.
Xenophobia? Maybe he didn't like you because you're foreign.
I may be wrong, but maybe by provoking you, he was looking for glory?
All these theories should be studied. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
住所間違えたのか？違う。うん、あった。なんで犯人、殺人犯をいるところに血が送ったのか。
Is everything clear now?
You might like to explain your reasoning again.
Of course. First of all, remember that the murderer made it a rule to always post his letter before the murder. He never digressed from that rule. However, in Churston, he encountered a problem. The village has only 500 inhabitants. With advance warning, it would be easy to arrest him. Therefore, the murderer delayed his letters deliberately with the wrong address. The plan wouldn't have worked if he'd sent it to Scotland Yard or the papers because everybody knows their addresses. The mistake would have been corrected and the letter would have been on time. That is why the murderer chose me as the recipient.
Because for his plan to succeed, it was necessary for at least one of the letters to have a wrong address and get lost. It was very cunning.
Absolument. It is a very subtle plan. It matches the profile we have drawn up of him perfectly. That of an intelligent, daring and calculating murderer.
But that's not how you describe Cust.
You are quite right, mademoiselle. Like you, I find it hard to believe that this dull character is the clever murderer we are looking for.
Do madmen... I mean, if he's mad, he might have two very different sides.
No doubt. But the murderer is not mad. All the specialists agree that he does not have the profile of the psychopath.
But if Cust is not guilty, how do you explain his presence at the scene of the crimes?
Mr. Clark, the answer to your question is in the medical records of your brother's patients. Documents which Cust most certainly did not have access to. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
分かってるか。 かっていること。意図浮きやすい。電車に乗っていった。傷を負った。これか。言ったことをどう説明するか。言ったことをどう説明するか。偶然だった。でも言ったことどう説明。言ったことやもんな。そうじゃん。 ったことをどう説明するの？あった。
Dr. Clark's patients' records provided a very useful list of potential victims, sorted by alphabetical order. The killer definitely used it, explaining the fact that all the victims were former patients of the doctor. It is this fact that clears Cust once and for all, because he never had access to these records. So how did he happen to be at the scene of the crimes? Either the murderer sent him there, or Cust was following him closely. Cust's highly suggestible nature leads us to the second hypothesis. The murderer was manipulating him. He systematically sent Cust to the towns where he was going to strike, so that the suspicion would land on the poor man's shoulder.
That's evil. What sort of killer could have such a plan? And what would he gain from 3 completely different murders?
Indeed, it seems unlikely that the same murderer committed all the crimes.
違う
What
け
should we
ど。
take from that? Just one murder was of benefit to the murderer. The others were just diversions. On reflection, there is only one conclusion. The murderer killed once out of interest and twice to divert our attention. This reasoning points at 2 potential culprits.
Franklin Clark.
Donald Fraser?
Yes, mademoiselle. That's good thinking. Mr. Fraser may have killed Betty out of jealousy. Mr. Clark may have killed his brother in order to inherit his large fortune. Both have a motive.
But Donald did not have access to Dr. Clark's records.
Please allow me to disagree with you, mademoiselle. Donald, too, has been treated by the doctor.
You're quite wrong, Mr. Poirot, and it shouldn't be difficult to prove.
Oui, please excuse me. It was a slip of the tongue. This is what I wanted to say. Donald, Sir Carmichael was one of your firm's customers. We found a surveyor's report among his papers that proves it.
It doesn't prove that I went to Comeside.
You could have done it. And you may have used the opportunity to take a look at Sir Carmichael's records.
You think I'm guilty?
You or Mr. Franklin Clark?
That's ridiculous.
Both of you have a motive. The question is, which of you has the profile that most resembles the murderer? Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
よいしょ。ドナルド敵か。これか。地震かか。地震かか。地震かよな。あった。魅力的か。そうだね。 実写好き、実写好き。これか。衝動的か。なんか。反対か。
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald may share many character traits with the murderer, but he does not have his cold indifference. He has a temper. It is hard to imagine him planning anything. Also, jealousy is his motive, and crimes of passion are rarely planned.
Right, I suppose it's my turn to be subjected to the same scrutiny.
Absolument, Mr. Clark. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
フランクの素敵か。自信が。魅力的。列車好きか。好き？衝動的か。寛大か。
As you have all seen, there is a disturbing similarity between Mr. Clark's profile and that of the killer. In actual fact, it is exactly the same.
Mr. Poirot, your psychological studies are interesting, but your conclusions do not add up. Why would I have wished my brother's death? The inheritance is lawfully mine. I just have to wait.
No, you had to act quickly. Because of Miss Gray. Mademoiselle, although you haven't been telling the truth, there is no doubt in my mind that you would have found a way to marry Sir Carmichael after Lady Clark's death. For you, Mr. Clark, it was a disaster. If Miss Gray had children by your brother, you would not have inherited a thing. You realized the danger after reading several letters from Comside, especially one in which your brother opened his heart to you. So you hurried home from China, and you took action. In truth, Cust was no more than a puppet manipulated by the real culprit. You, Mr. Clark.
Such an imagination, Mr. Poirot. In fact, nobody manipulated Cust. The famous instructions he received by post. He wrote them on the typewriter. We know that for sure.
Oh, no. You know perfectly well. That is not true. Eh bien, voilà. Light has now been shed on the ABC murders.
Your theories are ingenious.
One point to him. For the moment, I have no material proof. Either I admit to it, or I bluff. One thing proves it. The prints you left on Cuss' typewriter.
Enough.
Oh, of course you wiped the typewriter before sending it. But not carefully enough. Scotland Yard has found your print along with those of Cuss.
I understand why you never wanted to lend me your new typewriter. And why you were searching through your brother's things. And the hole you dug on the moors. What did you hide there? The knife you used to kill your brother?
Game, set, match. You win, Mr. Poirot. But it was worth trying. Don't come near me! I'll never let you take me, Mr. Poirot.
I'm sorry, Mr. Clark. There is no easy death for you. I expected your reaction, so I used blanks. I'm sorry, mademoiselle, but your second chance has been lost. Franklin Clark will never inherit his brother's fortune.
Disappointed at having missed the chance to
最初
become
犯
Lady
人ポアロの助手かと思いました。
left England.
それはないでしょ
Donald Fraser and Megan Barnard married. On Poirot's recommendation, Mary Drower started to work for Lady Clark. The elderly lady's condition suddenly took a turn for the better. And a few months later, to Dr. Logan's great surprise, she was back on her feet again. According to this eminent physician, it appears to be an extremely rare case of spontaneous remission. Lady Clark has enjoyed very good health ever since. Journal of an Innocent. The incredible story of ABC. As for A.B. Cust, after being advised by Poirot, he made a great deal of money while selling his story to the press. And as for me, with business booming, the Black Swan has become the #1 tourist attraction in the whole of Yorkshire, even more popular than York Minster.
終わった。なかなか選択肢よりも
大きなロバ取るのめっちゃ面倒でした。
あー、ロバスキップしようか。でもまだ多分まだ全部取れてないよね、私。大きなロバ取ってないわ。小さなロバしかない。ってことは完全に答えないといけないってことかな。まだ残ってんね、これ。とりあえず、ちょっと段落したので、ここで終わりたいと思います。ではでは。